Let's see what we got. What we got? Victims of Boosie.
From allegedly having a rapper whacked just for playing with his name.
Everybody know who did it. They just need to stop. Y'all need to stop him.
To getting pressed over his comments about rappers who came out of the closet.
Y'all lying. This was fake. This was from his movie, man.
The shocking truth of how he raises his kids. And even
a lot of people thought that little skip part was real. They thought somebody confronted Boosie. Y'all think Boosie would have let that fly like that?
Threatening to lay hands on his own blood.
When I see him, I'm gonna break his jaw, you know?
Boosie is the definition of a rapper who crosses the line constantly and will stand on everything he says, even if it kills him or threatens to sacrifice his freedom. Throughout the duration of his time in the spotlight, there have been plenty of instances where rappers, relatives, and media figures all found themselves caught in a messy beef with the Baton Rouge legend. It's your boy Luesta, and let's start with a rapper who is no longer here to tell his side of the story, as he was reportedly found dead just weeks after he got into it with Boosie. Among his former foes who've passed on is none other than Nussie, a once promising rapper from Louisiana who had a fearsome reputation as a real street sweeper behind him. Things got a little tense when Nussie started calling himself Nussie Badass, a name that for obvious reasons didn't sit right.
Nussie, I don't want to say he deserved it, but yeah, he wanted the what you call it, he wanted the rap beef and shit with a nigga. He wanted rap beef with one of the most deadliest niggas in your city, you hear me? But dude thought he was living like that too, but it go to show you we two different
with
levels.
Boosie. After all, it sounded way too close to Boosie Badass, one of the few names that he's held on to throughout his career. And if there's one thing Boosie don't play about, it's his name. Once
Why
Boosie
that nigga sweater like that?
held on to throughout his career. And if there's one thing Boosie don't play about, it's his name. Once Boosie made it clear he felt slighted, Nussie claimed it was all a misunderstanding over a marketing scheme.
And I did an hour-and-a-half interview, and I was telling people why I was doing it. I was letting them know that it's not a diss album. Listen to the album, I don't have not one song
like
on that diss album.
Nigga, I don't know if Baton Rouge was like that back in the day, but Boosie and Webby wasn't, so I don't know why his style and his swag, nigga got the glasses on the back, and
but you know, just for a marketing way, but we always promote and try to figure out ways to market to get in the game, because I ain't want to take all
watching the him and Boosie beef shit. I might have heard some shit even when he dissed Boosie, but
these years to blow, you know, I get no recognition. So make a long story short, I dropped the album and got a good response.
But whatever his intentions were, the plan backfired and things grew tense between the two. Reportedly, there were attempts to squash it, but it went left to the extent that he had to confront him in person.
Me and Lil Boosie hooked up and we talked because they had a lot of street issues going on in the streets. Negative with my name in it, mixed with his name, you know. So we talked, everything was cool. A couple weeks later, somebody yanked my sign down from the bottom line in the South. I got word that Boosie did it, and I was mad because we had just talked. I'm thinking we cool. So I did a song called A Dumb Way. I took a shot at him. I had said some negative stuff about him.
So how you thinking that y'all cool and you took a shot at a nigga? What the fuck?
I see your mad ass with the fat knots. You better stop before I take what you fucking got.
From there, the streets ran with it, fueled by
that was a weak ass diss at that.
Gossip and speculation, and with that, the next confrontation was only a matter of time.
I got a call that he was finna get off the airplane at the airport in Baton Rouge, so I hurry up and got over there because I wanted to catch him because I knew he was gonna be by himself. He always with somebody, and it's hard to really catch him like that, you know. So I caught him by himself, it just was me and him one-on-one, you know. And I
wanted. Came home from jail, he was way more stocky and cut than what he is now. Now he just small, but
to really see how I really felt about the situation, because rumors will get you killed down here in Baton Rouge, you know. And it's like, if I want to do somebody something, I gotta have a legitimate reason to do it. I felt like I didn't have a legitimate reason to really want to do him nothing, you know. He hurt my feelings when I heard he yanked my sign down, you know. Anyway, he said he didn't do it, you know. He didn't yank my sign down. I'm like, well, see that? All this come from something small like that.
Boosie took the goals out of his mouth, didn't he? I don't think he got goals no more.
But it could have escalated to something big, you know, because I'm from the streets, he from the streets, and that's how that go.
And just when you thought it couldn't get any more personal, it did. Not long after, the streets started whispering that Nussie might have been behind the killing of one of the only people Boosie ever truly trusted, Lil Ivy. Real name Ivy Smith, he wasn't just Boosie's friend.
I don't know why I thought I heard that Boosie had something to do with Lil Ivy getting killed. Even though I knew that was his man, but I thought Lil Ivy's son came out and said Boosie had something. I could be true.
He was the founder of TBG, the Top Boy Gorillas, a Baton Rouge crew that
well, all right, Lil Ivy was the nigga who owned, all right, TBG with Fredo Bangs and with the Fredo Bang partner name G Money. All right.
Operated as both a music collective and a street force. TBG had been deep in a violent feud with rival cliques like BBG and NBA, Never Broke Again, the same crew connected to Youngboy. So when Ivy was
so who clique was BBG? I don't remember. I remember that name and that clique. I don't remember who clique was it.
Murdered in 2005, it broke Boosie in a way that the public didn't see at first. But over time, the pain started pouring out in interviews, in his songs, and on social media. And in the eyes of Boosie and many in his circle, the man who pulled the trigger was none other than Nussie. And it didn't really help his case when he made a song called I Know You Miss Your Dog, where he didn't exactly seem to be denying it.
They say I
Clip farming back then, it cost your life, nigga.
killed Lil Abby. They say I killed little guys. They say them boys off 31st got mob ties. I can make y'all think what I want. Right now I got a dead body in my fucking trunk. Did I do it? Did I really kill him? Do that dude Nussie really bust them pistols?
Soon, Nussie was gunned down in February of 2009, with Boosie initially being named the primary suspect by the FBI, following information that he had issued a $30,000 hit. Despite this, he was never formally charged with the murder, but a hitman that was linked to him by the name of Michael Marlo Mike Louding was eventually convicted. And rest assured, that won't be the last time you hear his name in this video. As he's the one that still inhabits the earth, it's clear that Boosie won the
young bull at that. Young bull out there knocking him off. But by the time he got locked up and probably grew to be 21, 22, that's when he noticed, damn, I was a damn fool for Boosie. Then he tried to rat, then Boosie and them must have threatened him, then he took it all back.
feud. But that hasn't stopped him from taking shots on his fallen adversary, releasing a track in 2017 entitled Get Your Mind Right, where he could be heard spitting, it's always a little shocking when your own friends even think that you might have gone a little far. And judging by that reaction, they knew he was playing with fire. Despite all of this, Boosie had made it clear time and time again that he doesn't believe in universal respect for the dead, even if there are consequences for that.
My partner was like, man, nah, don't fuck with that. I was like, fuck that nigga, man. I just did it. I'm gonna keep it 100. I was like, me and dude had problems back then, rest in peace right now, but me and dudes had problems back then, and that's how I feel, I don't feel no type of sympathy for people. If I felt fuck you while you was living, it's fuck you while you dead. That's how the song came. I wasn't trying to strike up nothing.
Well, when you said something interesting, you said that when your boy got killed, that's the same rapper who made songs about your boy.
Yeah, and I didn't do all that, man. This the same dude said on the song, haha, they say I killed Ivy. They say I did that. Why didn't everybody go crazy then? It wasn't a big thing then, but when Boosie do it, it's a whole different thing. But like I said what I said, and that's it. It's a great song. We get the club lit.
You can tell Boosie wants to say so much more, but he's holding back. Boosie knows he gotta answer one day for the dirt that he did. And this wasn't even an isolated incident, with other clips emerging where he seemed to hint at knowledge of what went down.
Boosie them did it like they was on the news. Everybody know who did it. All already. Nigga police gangsters, all they people on the news. Everybody know who did it. They just need to stop. Y'all need to stop him. You know what the fuck you gonna do, man? Everybody know. Y'all know who did it. Well, man, my people ain't, I cut my people in they shit. Y'all, everybody know. They just need to stop.
This led some to feel like he was stepping over the line a bit. He's been tripping lately, too much talking for real. Nonetheless, with all the chatter surrounding the case, it's no surprise that other major players in Louisiana started feeling a type of way. For a long time, Boosie and the fellow Baton Rouge rapper Kevin Gates kept things cool on the surface, but behind the scenes, their relationship was anything but solid, especially with all the speculation and courtroom testimony floating around that claimed Boosie had put a $30K hit on Nussie, who was a known affiliate of Gates. But when the pair were both present at an unofficial Kentucky Derby after party in 2016, violence erupted between the artists' entourages. And while the beef has since been squashed, even Kevin Gates' attempts to downplay any feud felt as though it could pop off again at any moment.
Boosie said that you and him have squashed everything.
That's crazy. Like, I've never had a situation with him. Man, I'm super polite in public. I don't have no problems. If you just want that from me and you throw that alley, I'ma slam right there. In front of my child, whatever, I'm going to do a life sentence. I mean that. I'ma slam right there. And he know that. That's why I cherish and cling to him and try to avoid being in those situations. I don't want that for my life. I want to be peaceful.
Whether Kevin's warning played a role or not, Boosie has since ceased to mention Nussie's name or that of other dead ops in a quest to avoid causing further friction down the line.
I
ain't got time to diss no dead, bro, you know, because I don't want no ops. I like living with no ops. That's how you live longer. You know, I ain't ducking no smoke, but I don't want no ops. You dissing the dead, you just bringing yourself ops. You making more people want to kill. But you gotta understand, most time the dissing ops be retaliation. You know what I mean? Once it's turned retaliation, it turns to a trend. They can't wait to kill this person to do what they did to them on social media.
However, that has by no means led Boosie to calm down.
I think Boosie saying that stopped a lot of young niggas from dissing the ops and all that. Cause if you notice, all that shit calmed down. All that shit Julio and Ace and them was doing, it could be because of Julio got killed, but a lot of that shit died down. You don't hear niggas dissing the dead and the ops and all that shit no more. A lot of that wild shit, since these niggas been getting locked up in these fucking RICO cases,
on going after people for other reasons. A man who has spent a lot of time behind bars over the years, Boosie believes in remaining 10 toes down above all else, and as such, he's got zero tolerance for snitches. This has led him to vocalize his disgust for any number of alleged informants within the hip-hop world, including individuals like Gunna.
They wanted him to go, they wanted him to cop out first. They would want Gunna to say something for anybody, because when you look at the case and it's like a team, Thugger is Michael Jordan. Who the fuck is Scottie Pippen when you talk about the team? Gunna.
Well, Young Thug is Michael Jordan.
Yeah, who the fuck is Scottie Pippen?
Gunna. Right.
So if Scottie Pippen say it's a game, what the fuck Michael Jordan say it's not? What the fuck?
And while there are technicalities in place regarding the Alford plea, which has meant that he technically isn't a rat by definition, Boosie still doubles down, claiming he wouldn't work with him for any price tag, and sinisterly suggested he'd do something else for a certain ransom.
Boosie, so you know we gotta ask you, if somebody gave you $1 billion, no tax, would you do a song
with Gunna on here? This about who boosting the
with Gunna? $1 billion.
No tag?
Yep.
I don't want to talk about it, Rat. I don't want to incriminate myself what I would do with $1 billion.
Okay.
I don't want to incriminate myself.
One more question.
What I would do to a rat if they gave me a rat to do business with $1 billion.
Among the others who felt his wrath is Terrence Gangsta Williams, the half-brother
was in jail with a Rolex, or that was a fake
of Birdman and former Cash Money Records affiliate, who is alleged to have helped police in his hometown of New Orleans solve 40 homicides in an attempt to reduce his life sentence.
This was supposed to be like all people who was dead already, and the people who did it was dead already too. So it was like, am I really ratting on? Ain't get nobody locked up, should he say?
When Boosie caught wind of it, he went in.
I had a real respect for Gangsta and the stories I heard about him, but you know, that shit leave with me. You know, I have no type of respect for him, and once you go that route, I dismiss you from my legend book and X you out.
Well, let's just say the story is true. So like I said, I haven't seen the actual paperwork, and
you haven't seen the paperwork. He could be telling you that just to be telling you that on fucking camera. Right. You know, he about to set up 100 motherfuckers. You know, that's how that shit go, man. You stay solid, nigga. Some of us gonna make it, some of us ain't. That's just how it gonna be. You know what I'm saying? You can take that gangster shit off your name, man. Real shit, man. That shit hurt me when I heard about that shit. Cause you know how all them niggas in that city stand up for gangsta and Angola, man. Niggas talk highly of this, man.
As for Williams, he didn't exactly deny it, but simply wanted the world to move on.
Ever since I've been going to jail under 1976. If you look my arrest record of all the murders I've had, you're gonna see where my date of birth was 76. I guess, you know, by him being upset me saying he been in PC, oh, you're right, you wore white, so all right, okay, I take that. I already got the red jacket for telling on my dead homies, so I'm not tripping, you know. I don't buy friendship too expensive. That's a serious accusation that he put on me, but I don't want to just straight fight it, because once I fight it, then it's over with. None of that, they don't have nothing else to talk about.
But sometimes Boosie's hardline stance ends up putting him at odds with people he actually got love for.
Only thing they was saying, they got like bring attention to the people, family, to nigga like, well, all right, he was the one who killed my people, so now let me go get, even though he did, let me go get revenge on his people, his mom and sister, and he can't even see it or heard about it, but it'll probably make them people feel better to sleep at night. So,
and in one case, it even blew up a project that fans had been waiting on for years. Even though they came up in different hoods, Boosie in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and T.I. in Bankhead, Atlanta, Georgia, the two always moved with similar energy. And over the years, they've linked up more times than you can count. Of the belief that Tip is one of the few real ones left, they even hashed plans to record a collab project and began to work on it behind the scenes in the studio. But that all fell apart when T.I.
was about all the Boosie, all the people he had that got whacked and stepped on. That's what I thought it was about.
A podcast and casually admitted that he once pinned the gun case on his dead cousin just to avoid jail time. To preface this, it's important to note that back in the early 2000s, T.I. and his cousin Toot got caught with a gun near Lenox Mall. But before the case could go anywhere, Toot was murdered. So with his lawyer's advice and what Tip claimed was Toot's blessing from the grave, he told the cops the gun was Toot's.
We caught no gun case. Toot died. My lawyer said, well, you know, I could make everything go away if it was Tramel's. and I had a talk with 2.
Posthumously?
Yeah. After he had passed, I had a talk with him.
What you say?
Say, I take all the charges you got. If you can walk away free and put it on me, goddamn right.
T.I. insisted this was the only time he ever cooperated.
That's the only time.
Like I said, I don't see nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? Putting on somebody who, hey, if I could get out of this and we ain't got nobody who going to jail for it.
Said or gave no information about nobody because that's my cousin, my big cousin. He was dead and he told me that it was okay.
But whether it was meant as a joke or not, the streets didn't find it funny, and neither did Boosie, where he let it be known that if Tip was serious, it'd put a real stain on their bond.
With the T.I. situation, if he did that, you're a fucking rat too. I don't spare no motherfucking body. Because if you doing anything wrong, you doing anything criminal-wise, and you cooperate with law enforcement to get you out of trouble, that means you're cooperating, that means you're a rat.
From there, Boosie said the whole collab got scrapped for this reason, claiming that people from all over were hitting him up, telling him that the album couldn't drop under any circumstances.
I'm like, why the fuck he say that when we got a fucking album finna come out?
Okay, so is that album coming out?
No.
Oh, so you have a finished album with T.I. that's not coming out?
No, because it ruined everything.
Because of that?
It ruined everything. I woke up with my motherfucking phone, everything full. Like Boosie, you cannot do an album. My real fans like Boosie, you the last one left. They like, you cannot put this album out.
Like, had already was feeling like T.I. was ratting or he had something on how he keep getting out of jail with these crazy charges. So when this happened, it's like he solidified it.
You know, my uncle OG nigga called me. Like Boosie? Like nigga, hey, nigga, what you gonna, hey, look, nigga, that album ain't, my uncle called me, nigga, that album ain't coming up.
But with Tip every bit as emotional and highly strung as Boosie, it's no surprise that he wouldn't just accept that. And soon, he clapped back on Instagram, putting the Baton Rouge MC on blast for coming at him publicly without consulting him first. All the while, he insisted
I come back talking about he was just playing and he got paperwork showing that it never, man, who play like that? Who play like that, nigga?
that he had all the necessary documentation to prove he wasn't a snitch. And to Boosie's credit, he seemed to realize he might have jumped the gun. Later on Vlad TV, he admitted that they squashed the issue for the sake of business and more importantly for their kids.
We got kids who love each other though, you know, and first you went agreeing and we was going back and forth, and you know, he spoke how he felt, I spoke how I felt, and he felt me and I felt him, and you know, I gave him an apology. You know,
apologize?
I gave him an apology, you know, because the things he was doing for me in my life at the time, I kind of felt bad. He was doing some real shit, helping me in a lot of ways, but I still told him I stand on what I stand on, and when he explained it to me, we got by it, man.
As for Tip, he has hinted that the record is still forthcoming.
When is your album gonna come out with Boosie?
That him right there. I mean, shit, time will tell, man. We both got busy schedule. We got to figure it out.
But judging by his tone, it's hard to say whether that's the truth or if there are too many hurt feelings at this point. But even if music from the two doesn't emerge, they are now at least a united force in trying to prevent their nepo baby children from wreaking havoc.
Live in that community. I started buying more houses in the community, you know.
Okay, so do you own your whole block?
Yeah, exactly. I own 5.
A lot like Rollo, admitting he gave information to lighten his time.
So yeah,
even though he was in prison at the time, Rollo clearly got wind of his remarks and came out swinging on Twitter where he stated, "These dudes are acting like some salon talking ass
the real street shit.
Niggas that been
they
like Boosie rapping when he 40, 50 years old. I ain't trying to be doing that. I want to pull up.
He got a lot of niggas back then.
No, we crazy, man. You heard what you said.
They managed to meet up and formally squashed it. Maternal side, it seems like a foregone conclusion that they'd eventually team up, but that hasn't been the case. And in actual fact, Boosie has gone out of his way to swerve his little cousin.
I think he just gave me a wrong number.
You think?
I think so. I ain't gonna. Don't.
Six behind that might.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's girl on the Old Town Road. What the fuck was he talking about?
Well, he said he cheated on his
so
baby.
bad did I say?
Lil Nas X, I forgot about that one.
And they songs that ain't changed.
I know it's a different day.
Launching into a crazy rant, which had the whole world labeling him up. This got Boosie a lot of backlash, and at one point, he even got pressed by Lil Nas X's uncle, and he did for rocking with him on a track.
Were you surprised?
The whole segment about Lil
Wade and y'all do some shit and we clear this shit up and go get the bag, and I was just like, no, bro. I stand what I stand on. You know, I'm not
conversation to keep going forward, because you know what? Was to stir. This time, it took place when he was fearful of infection for his other kids by his lesbian daughter.
So your daughter came out. And put
nigga beefing with his daughter.
He can fly.
Then it got back cool now.
Suspicious of what it tastes like. And fans, Boosie faced death and refused to turn too real for this era. On death row and didn't snitch on nobody. One of the realest OGs ever. Legit, this man's a legend. Against all odds, Boosie actually turned down a plea deal and beat the case.
Oh, they offered you a plea deal?
Yeah.
What did they offer you?
Principal.
Offer you what?
Principal.
What's that?
Principal to first degree murder.
What does that mean?
Principal mean like you had something to do with it.
Okay. And what was the time that they were offering?
I think it was like 15, but they were running concurrent, so I had like 5 left.
You didn't take it though?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. How hard was that decision? Because 5
years. It wasn't hard at all. My lawyer already told me they was beat.
And while he was sentenced to 8 years on the drug charges, it wasn't all bad, as ultimately, he realized what was important in the aftermath. Boosie is still as unhinged as ever, but one thing's clear, he's a much better friend than an enemy. Whether he's calling you out for your lifestyle or labeling you a rat, he'll stand 10 toes down no matter the fallout. In a world where most fold under pressure, Boosie would rather go out swinging. It's your boy Luesta, and this was The Victims of Boosie. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Yeah, this is not what I thought it was gonna be at all. I can't even be like, yeah, it's cool though, cause it ain't. So I don't even know if I'm gonna post it, but if I do,
I don't do it for the bar, just do it for the bar, just do it for the bar, do it